What is up, gamers? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Respawn Recap. This is Zan, not Nick. Nick took a break because he actually was traveling. We're giving him his quarantine time. Zan, let's get it rolling.
Yeah, let's hit it. Let's hit it.
Let's go. And one of our top stories to start off this week, technically a weekend story, was one of the OG YouTubers, Xanifer.
Yo, the real ones.
Yeah,
real
really.
Talk.
If you were going to describe a YouTuber as a real one, Higa definitely fits that picture. Maybe not so real when it comes to the esports and gaming world, as he took to 100 Thieves podcast with Courage and Nadeshot to ask the question to Nadeshot if FaZe Clan was his thing, which I found was actually very funny because he said it so seriously.
He was very upfront about it, very open, like no hesitation. He was just like casually, like the same way I'd ask, oh, is that a Nike shirt?
Yeah. And it's kind of weird though, because obviously you respect the guy, but you expect him, if he's going to take a podcast with Nadeshot and Courage, to maybe know something about, but like you said, he openly admitted he has no clue about the gaming esports world, which became frankly very obvious. We tied that though again to a kind of a coincidence, as we've actually covered many months ago that Nadeshot was almost the co-owner of FaZe Clan. So all in all, full circle, Higa and that podcast, if you guys do want to check it out, a very funny moment became very ironic. Zan, one of the more interesting stories we had this week wasn't too crazy, too popular. We've seen it before, though. That's going to be around Dafran quitting streaming, potentially even playing Valorant again. And this time around, it was very particular because in his Twitlonger, he said it was to actually learn an education about farming fruits and vegetables.
Which you gotta admire homeboy really leaning in, just pursuing his dreams, right?
Super respected. I don't know if you saw his exact statement.
I
but
did.
I like, for a guy that fronts so much with rage at times, and I mean that in not really an offensive way. He has a diehard fan base who find that very comedic. And we definitely touched on both sides of his rage. But it's really weird to see a guy that kind of fronts with that to have the,
to want to go start a farm.
Yeah, intelligence to be like, you know what? I want to live my life the way I do. I want to do what makes me happy. And out of nowhere, we have a guy who is literally known for being kind of an angry guy towards video games saying, I want to go learn how to farm or garden fruits and vegetables. And so I think it's going to be an ongoing talking point for the future of mental health and physical health when it comes to esports and gaming. And I gotta say, he nailed his position. I only can wish him the best of luck and hope the next time we talk about him, he'll be maybe back to his rage. I don't know what.
Well, I think he'll alternate back and forth. He'll probably farm a little bit and then stream for 1 day out of every 3 months.
Yeah, we will see. When he does come back, what he's doing. And I think a very interesting point out there, one that I was actually really scared to bring up because we both know diehard fan bases out there.
Yeah.
Usually you and me run into FaZe Clan fan base. This is that, but from the Call of Duty scene, being the Huntsman, right? Former Optic boys, T2P boys. If you guys don't know, Scump and Formal, and headed by Hex. Optic Gaming has that diehard fan base. And one that I was actually very scared to talk about is the fact that their brand and their personalities and what they bring with their skill might have saved a guy like Formal's job in this past week. It was actually brought to light during a COD podcast, in case you missed it. And it was pretty much just a fan coming forward and saying, do you think that Scump and the T2P brand actually made these guys stick it out on the roster? I think it brings to light a great discussion when it comes time for players that bring more to the table than just their stats.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be a crucial factor in how people build rosters in the coming future. Because nowadays, hey, winning tournaments is important, of course, but having that fan base willing to back you and support your team is just as important.
Yeah, and we see that with 100 Thieves. We see that with FaZe Clan. And literally before the season even started, Hector Rodriguez, who heads the Huntsman, said, I want personalities over players. Luckily for him, when it comes time for Scump and Formal, they are both personalities and very good players.
Absolutely.
And Mixer saw record viewership this past week with Ninja's first ever official Fortnite event, that being the Ninja Battles, but it was met, of course, in the Fortnite scene with a bit of controversy. Two things, Zan. One was actually a top-level pro player, both of which are very well noted, though. Clicks had actually left midway through the event for a different event. And then we had Zextro, who I'm sure you guys saw it. I know you saw it as well. He actually won the event with his trio and took to a live interview to say some very choice words.
No, not really working on anything. Hopefully I do good in solos, but last FNCS didn't go too well, but I just made more than top 9 in it, so everyone that didn't place in top 10 can suck my They're I don't know why they're actually also dog brain dead. That's all I'm saying.
The big issue being the fact it was not his own broadcast. It was a very public broadcast to over 100,000 people, and coinciding with the Ninja brand, the things he said was not exactly the best light.
A little excessive, perhaps. I think in both instances we can say it's good that both players have appeared, at least publicly, to take criticism.
Yeah.
And are hopefully going to fix their ways going forward, but maybe they shouldn't have done it in the first place.
I know, it's such a
Yeah.
weird time because it's hard for people to picture being in their shoes, being that young, that popular, making so much money, and really feeling like you can do just about anything. At least they have now come forward. They both apologized. I don't think it ruined the event, and if anything, it actually.
not quite.
Yeah, we'll see what this does for, I think the more subtle discussion of Mixer and Ninja and Fortnite all trying to maybe work and save each other.
Mm-hmm.
And in the wake of a pretty serious tragedy, how do you even talk about this kind of stuff? It's definitely
Hard. It's rough.
It's a more controversial topic to talk about. That being Valorant's release, though, when relating to esports and gaming, was certainly questioned by at least a few people out there. Let me also make sure to note that when it comes time for outside of America, we saw a lot of non-American viewers either not care or not be informed about the controversial issues currently going on, and what made the Valorant release on Blackout Tuesday as what it became. Kind of controversial in itself.
Yeah, less than ideal at best.
That's a good way to put it. And especially when you correlate that to tons of streamers out there deciding not to stream to distract people from the more important issue as they saw it. Along with that, we saw big gaming companies out there, Activision being one, delaying a lot of updates and releases, PlayStation also delaying releases, and others following suit. And then you have Riot Games, and again, who knows who was the actual upper hand in this. They were like, no, we have this planned release. We got to get it out. By the way, even the tournament they planned on release day with Twitch also was delayed. So hopefully people out there can understand why it was, at the very least, controversially timed.
Yeah, it's not a great look, especially, I mean, maybe it would have been a little smoother if Valorant worked perfectly on release, but all the bugs just make it a little bit more convincing that, hey, maybe they could have waited.
Yeah, and now we are seeing viewership numbers come up. I know we're going to have Valorant diehard fans. Certainly, we are cheering for the game. It gives us a lot more to talk about. We will see how they bounce back from this, but what certainly was an interesting timed release, and the game itself, we will see where it goes from here. We hope you guys all enjoy the Respawn recap. Zan, hit him with the goodbye.
Yeah. Hey, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Tune back next week for all your up-to-date esports news.
See you guys.